I love comic book heroes, and I'm really fond of Batman as one of those heroes. The Batman has some of the craziest and mind just deep thinking villains and another cast of characters which make for the stories in the Batman universe just some of the best in all of literature, I think. They're compelling stories. But a few years ago, there was a series of, a trilogy really, of Batman movies, often referred to as the Dark Knight films, that were directed by Christopher Nolan. And the second one in that series of movies was called The Dark Knight. And it centered around Batman having to deal with arguably his most diabolical of all villains, the Joker. And as the movie unfolds, of course, the Joker does what the Joker does, and Batman is doing all that he can to put a stop to his tirades. There's one scene in that movie, though, where Batman is interrogating the Joker, and he begins to beat him violently, throwing him to and fro, and just screaming at him and continually assaulting him over and over again, trying to use his brute force and power to strike fear into the heart of the Joker so that the Joker will give the information that Batman so desperately needs. And in that moment, the Joker basically laughs at him, because he's not afraid of Batman. He mentally can't comprehend anything. And so much so he says, "You have nothing to threaten me with, nothing that you can do to me with all your strength." And precisely because that is true, it drives Batman bonkers. I couldn't help but think about that story this week as I was looking at this particular scripture passage, because yes, people who crave power, people who so often live by its influence, will in fact go crazy when it turns out they cannot make a dent in a person's behavior. Much in the same way that these religious leaders are trying their very hardest to change the actions of these disciples, of these first followers of Jesus, and it's not making a dent.